Hey guys, just going to do a bit of a report on a weekend I recently attended where we played two separate Warmachine Hordes events. One at a local garage down the road from where I live that I regularly play at, and on the second day at my place. So pictures we're looking at now is of this particular event: 50 points, two lists, just 8 players over 3 rounds. The player that wins the 3 games wins. And I took Circle with P. Kruger and Epic not Epic Morvana, that's coming later, P. Morvana. And first round against Alan with his Cricks, just taking a few shots of some of the other tables as well. But everybody had a good time. This is Beer Machine, basically, where you just drink and play at the same time. I think there's a rule where you're allowed to have a take back in a tournament situation if you finish your drink or something funny like that, but it's not particularly serious. First game was quite tough though. I made a couple of mistakes against Terminus here and ended up losing. Came very close. I got 3 control points to his 5 by the end of it, but he scored quicker than I did because the Swamp Gobbers on the left hand side of the table failed their command check on a 7, and just couldn't contest that flag when I wanted to. Second round was up against JS, who's a regular opponent of mine who has been playing Gators a lot lately, but he has stopped playing Gators because he is sick of them and wants to try a different faction, and he's gone for Scorn. So that's what he was going to have a crack at. A couple of shots here of friendly Waldrath and Galleon models. But what happened in this game is I got the double teleporting Wald Guardian, which was a lot of fun, into Moloch, knocking him down and not quite killing him, but I did manage to take care of him later. But this is the Morvana list with the Waldrath. You guys might remember me playing the Waldrath list at Rally Point last year and doing very badly, but this list I've actually swapped out the Skinwalkers for the Wald Guardian, which works a lot for her better because she doesn't have to cut herself so much, and managed to win this one on scenario, which was quite cool. So it was a 3-round day. The third round had me playing against Signar with Siege, and here's a photo of me here against my opponent and the rest of the field, so to speak. But he had Foxhole with all of his Stormblades, and again it was a scenario win with me just taking the objective and destroying the objective and taking the scenarios on the right flank, thanks to P. Kruger. But P. Kruger, I think, is a really strong choice of 50 points. I'm just sick of coming up against his Cricks list, which are a massive infantry span, so I'm just going to work on that as a little bit, possibly as a pairing for Epic Morvana, who's going to be one of my main Warlocks coming up, and you'll see a bit more about that in the next battle report. Anyway, on to day 2. This was back at my house where I was playing my Constance Blaize Tier 4 Signar list, which is a once-off. I don't really consider myself as a Signar player, but I do consider myself a Morrowind player, and what that means is that I only play Constance Blaize and I only play Tier 4, and I just play Precursor Knights and Sword Knights here, which is really fun. The models are just beautiful, and I've been putting them on these Micro Art Studio cobblestone bases, so they're looking really cool. Haven't quite finished painting the army yet, but this was just to be a bit of a silly tournament. Wasn't really going for the win so much, but I nearly managed to beat Daryl here with his Cricks when Gallant moved over and attacked Gorshade, who had Occultation on him. So I had Purgation to destroy him, but didn't quite end up killing him because the Bane Thrall that free struck me on the way there took out my sword arm, so a bit unfortunate in that regard. Second game, I ended up playing up against Francis, who I've been training up at the club recently, and one of the clubs that I go to, and he was playing Siege, again here with Connie, and Francis was really just borrowing somebody else's army. He normally plays Legion, so this is his first or second game with Signar, and a lot of fun. As you guys can see, there's some other photos here, the other games going on around us, which I took the liberty of photographing, which was really cool. But Constance Blaize easily managed to destroy Siege. Francis wasn't really sure about the list build that he had. I mean, had Ironclads and Trencher Commandos, and there's a great photo here of Trencher Commandos actually in a real trench, which you never see, but it did crop up this particular game since we had some trenches on the battlefield. But quite easily overrunning the right-hand flank and scoring straight away for 5 control points over a couple of rounds was quite neat in the situation to easily clinch the win. But man, Constance is a lot of fun to play. She's not a great caster, but I really just enjoy the art. I enjoy the model, the sculpts, the theme, the fluff, the background story behind her. So that's why I've just gone for that sort of side project, so to speak. But the grand finals came down to Daryl with his cricks against my flatmate Chris with his Retribution. And my final game was up against Matt, who I played in the first round of Ides of March, the previous tournament I was in, as well as in the first round of Battlecry. And he's got his Kador yet again with the Old Witch. And I've got Constance Blaize as usual for this particular day. And Constance Blaize going in there with after the feed turn with like 11 focus camped after a couple of focus spent for attacks with Arc Shield, allowing her to just camp in front of the caster's battle group, which was awesome. Me here losing a lot of infantry to him, but not as many as I expected, thanks to unlucky mortar, scatter rolls and so forth, and surviving Scrapjack, as you can see here, which was great. So I just went on to charge the Old Witch and actually cut her down in combat, which was a really good fitting end for the tournament and the weekend. Constance Blaize just assassinating the opponent's Warcaster in close combat with her Blessed Spear, which was amazing. But hope you guys enjoyed this little weekend report. I'm going to be hopefully posting up a battle report soon featuring Epic Morvana, who is awesome. I really agree with the rest of the Circle forums and everybody else commentating on her that she's just a fantastic caster and just what Circle needed. So we'll be seeing a bit more about that later.